I'm gonna wake up this morning and feel the glory. Wake up this morning and open my heart. I'm gonna wake up this morning and feel the glory here in the light of love.
I want to welcome everyone in the community. Hello, live streamers. You are our love streamers, our love partners today. Thank you for expanding our gathering. Today, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to us. It's about developing our inner life. Say ouch. And say, ah. So first and foremost, I'd like for you to do something with me. I'd like for you to repeat this proverb with me. I will say it first and you will say it after me, and we'll do it 3 times. As a person thinketh in her heart,
as a person thinketh in her heart,
so is she. As a man thinketh in his heart,
as a man thinketh in his heart,
so is he.
so is he.
As a person thinketh in their heart,
As a person thinketh in their heart,
so are they.
so are they.
Is there a message there? Whatever is in your heart, whatever you are thinking in your heart, you are dealing with your inner life. I believe so much in this science of mind philosophy that I must bring forward to you a couple of the principles that I think that are applicable for this particular topic. 1, we believe in God, that God is personal to all who feel the indwelling presence. Shall I give you an example of the indwelling presence? Do you know when you feel it here? Do you know when you, feel it here? Do you know that visceral thing? That is the presence of spirit. But also, do you hear in your mind, in your mind's eye, that voice, that still small voice that leads and guides and gives direction and insight to what's happening in your life? But here's another example of that indwelling presence. Have you ever been sitting there watching television and this dialogue is rolling on, and in your mind you are hearing what is going to be said before it's actually said? That's amazing to me because it's like, why am I watching this? So that's one of the principles. And the other principle is we're surrounded by a creative intelligence that receives the direct impress of our thought, and it acts upon it. It acts upon our thought. So what are you thinking? And what are you thinking in those situations when you're by yourself and you say, woe is me? What are you thinking? There's something that I want us to become much more aware of. First and foremost, know thyself. Know who you are. What is your authentic self? What is the integrity of who you are? Let's start with, who are you? You are a spiritual being created out of the infinite mind of the infinite one. Your nature is just like the nature of this infinite mind. And what I like about this month's theme is that we're talking about this integrity, and Ernest Holmes felt that this thing was the central integrity of the universe. And one of the purposes that he had in mind as he synthesized this great thought through all of the religions that he examined, he wanted to know what was the integrity and the consistency of the thought such that we have these principles, these things of knowing. So our nature is right there. We have some principles, some rules. For those who don't like rules, I'll put them in quotes. We have these things that we look toward as guideposts and guidances for our life and for our living. We have that. It's very interesting to me that when we have a desire to experience a better life, it seems like we have a little challenge and a little trial that we have to go through. What are you thinking? How are you designing your life? Is it possible to redesign the life that you're living now to have it to be something more, something different, something better? We know that it's possible for that to happen. Let me share a story with you. I read this story last night and I was so impressed it just somewhat blew up the original talk that I planned. But this was a story about a woman named Sally Steen Kinsey. She was a child when she first was introduced to Science of Mind down in Los Angeles. And she was a member with her family at Founders Church. Went to Sunday school, heard the messages, just like everybody else. I heard that stuff, but I have no idea what it means, and I don't even know how it applies. But yet her parents continued to carry her, as well as her siblings, to Sunday school, and she heard these messages. One day, this nice actor came to their church, and after the service was over, the actor was invited to come to their home, and the actor decided to talk to the children, and the actor said to the children, "It is possible for you to do anything you want to do in spite of what other people have to say, because you have within you already all you need for it to happen. What you must do is to become disciplined and continue to move forward in that direction." That's what the actor said. And for some reason, those children really took it to heart. Now, here are kids, Sally at the time, probably junior high school, decided that she wanted to be a dancer. Can you imagine way back then, somebody saying to their parents, "I want to be a dancer," and those parents said, "Oh, no, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief is what you're destined to be. We want you to go to school and get a job where you can make a real living." But this is what she wanted to do. Her younger brother loved to play the piano, and he began to focus his attention on playing the piano. And what happened for those three children was that instead of wanting to run outside to play, they put their energies into doing that thing that they felt was what was theirs to do, what they wanted to do. So Sally was always dancing, playing, and she had a natural talent. And for some reason, she knew within her, "I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star." Well, Sally decided it was time for her to go out and actually demonstrate her words. Because once again, she had been listening to what William Hornaday and what Dr. Holmes said when they came and they spoke at Founders Church. She goes to this club where they did dancing. She lied about her age, and she got hired to be a dancer. Still in high school, underage, but they loved what she was able to do. Hired her right away. Now, this is really amazing because it wasn't a problem for her to get to her job. Now, nightclubs are just in operation at night, and she knew that she would be done by 12 midnight, and then she could go home. But therein was, we would think, a problem. And the problem would be, how are you, school kid, going to do this job when your mom is going to be monitoring what you're doing? Well, the problem was solved because her mother worked at a hotel at night as a chef, and she didn't get home until 3 a.m. So Sally would go to the club. She would dance, have a wonderful time, and get home in time to do her homework, put it on the table for her mother to see when her mother got home, and her mother would check it, and go about her business. She was earning lots of money. However, this wonderful thing came to a crashing halt when her mother came home and found out that this child was not in bed when the mother got there. The mother had a headache. She couldn't work that night, so she came home. So, of course, all heck broke loose. But Mom did not just really get at it the way some of our moms would have gotten at it. Mom was very nice and gentle and loving to her children. But she said, no, you're not working there. She went to the club, told the man, this is an underage child. And the manager says, how could you do this to me? I could have lost my license. But he too said, when you're of age, come back. We're more than happy to have you. Well, make the long story short, she graduated, got married, went back to the club, started working, and as she was making tons and tons of money, at the end of one of her sessions, the curtain on the stage fell from the top and hit her on the floor. They didn't know she was there until after a while when they started looking for her. They found her under the curtain. They rushed her to the hospital. She no longer had feelings in her left, I have to check, the left arm and the left leg. So she was paralyzed. And you know what the prognosis was. You know what the diagnosis was. You will never walk again. You will never be able to use those limbs again. Like anybody else, oh, what devastating news. She was really devastated. And she thought, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to be a dancer. I'm a star. Oh, how could I do this? So she sunk into a depression. And this happened to someone at a very young age. Very young age. Well, people came to tell her, oh, you will learn how to live with this and you'll be okay. She continued to get depressed until one of the people in the hospital came and said, I met two people that have your kind of condition. One is a guy sitting out there on the street selling pencils, and the other one is the president in the White House. And this caused her mind to just sit up and take notice like, what? She saw that the same condition had two different ways of going, And she decided, if that guy in the White House is in a wheelchair and he's doing that, there must be something that I can do with my dancing that I can continue to do this. So she went within, and those lessons that she had heard in Sunday school, as well as when she was sitting in the service with her parents, that Dr. Hornaday and Dr. Holmes were saying, they came to her, and she reformatted. All right, so I may not be able to dance with my feet right now, but I will be able to become a set designer because I know how this place is to be set up and what will work for the people that are working here. And with that attitude, she called the physical therapist and said, I need you to help me. I want to start strengthening the muscles on the side that's working. But you know what? She got a big bonus because what began to happen after her beginning to practice to work the limbs the way that she could, she started feeling tingling in her foot. And she says, oh my goodness. And then she said, I better not tell anybody. I better not tell anybody because they told me I would never walk again. So I'm just going to keep my mouth. And she kept it to herself. She carried it into her inner life. And she giggled and said to the Spirit, "Oh, this is wonderful. Is there more? Is there more?" And then she began to just kind of move. And she felt that ankle do something. And movement came in the ankle. Movement came into the leg. The woman started walking. And what was so interesting is that as she kept her mouth shut, her body began to automatically tell the message. The body began to tell the message that something wonderful had happened there. And it always happened as a result of that inner life. Her therapist, one day while she was in physical therapy, said, "Did you just move your foot?" And she giggled. The therapist said, "I think I saw you move your foot." So she just showed out and showed her, "Oh yeah, it works. Yes, it works." And what happened was the therapist ran and got all the doctors and everybody. "See what Sally has done. See this, see that." This was opposed to what the prognosis and the diagnosis had been. But what nobody was thinking about was Sally was working with her inner life, with that inner knowing of what she is able to do. Because what Sally remembered was that there is a spiritual body that is perfect, whole, complete, and entire, and it stands in the presence of spirit at all times, and where the two are gathered, Christ is in the midst, and through Christ she could do anything. And this is what was happening for her. In terms of the left arm and shoulder, she was not able to get that completely functioning because too many people had gotten involved in her business. So, of course, she said she wasn't able to move all of that because she had listened and heard and let some of that other thought sink into here, which says, okay, you can't move. But she was still able to do some wonderful things. That isn't the end of Sally's story. Sally married again, had children, and people said, "How are you going to take care of children, a baby, and you only have one functioning hand?" She said, "Because my practitioner told me I'm a metaphysician. I am a metaphysician, and that I am at one with all of creation as God is one with all of creation." From that innermost place, she began to talk to her baby in the womb and said, "This is the way it is with Mom. I need your cooperation right now." In the womb, she said to the child, "When I need you to be still, when I need you to be quiet, when I need you to lay in a certain way, I need your cooperation so that we can do this together." That's what she said to the unborn child that she was carrying in her womb. 3 kids. People marveled at how she was able to do things. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because it is one of the great examples of what we could do with our inner life. When we remove ourselves from the talk of the day. Oh, we know that talk of the day. Thank goodness we're going into springtime, but we have commercials on television telling us to go and get our allergy medicine because you will be sneezing and you will be coughing and you will have hives. And it reminds me, Carolyn, don't eat raspberries because you will break out. That kind of talk is there. It's there. We hear that and it goes in. I tested myself. I'm still working on that I can or cannot eat raspberries because I had some. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you get the message? So I'm telling you, we have to deal with our inner life. We really have to work on our inner life. So what does it mean to develop our inner life? Dr. Holmes said that you can plant a mental garden and you can till that garden, fill it up with seeds and till it, and you can bring in a harvest. We have to cultivate our mental garden. We must cultivate it. When we are cultivating our mental garden, we become aware of things that we previously have been asleep to. We begin to open our minds to have an expanded view of what's available to us. Not only that, when we are cultivating that garden, we remember that we're in the presence of the Infinite One, and that once again, with God, all things are possible. We let go of, I can't, I won't, I don't think so. And we let go of, I need this, I need that. And we begin to really embrace what we believe. What we believe. So how do I develop my inner life? Here's something radical. I don't know if anybody else has said it, but I'll just say it and let you deal with it. We don't have to develop our inner life. It's already there. It's already set. It is full of everything you need for life, for anything you believe that you can have to receive. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a woman believes and thinks that she can have, if you can conceive that thought, guess what? You can have it. What all of this is telling us is that in our inner life, thoughts are things. Our thoughts, no matter how strong they are, no matter how weak they are, get into the innermost recesses of our beingness, and sometimes they can hold us back, and other times they can propel us, push us forward into that which we know we are and what we can have. One of my favorite sayings for myself is, I thank God. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Oh my, I am just so blessed. What are you blessed for? I'm just so blessed. Don't ask me what. I'm just so blessed. I know that to be the truth. I am blessed. Can you say that? Just, I am blessed. I am so blessed. Plant that, cultivate that in your life, no matter what. I'm blessed. Let me tell you my story of being blessed this morning, because once I left my home on time to be here ahead of time, as I was driving along in my nice car, there was this message that popped up on the screen that I had a flat tire and I needed to stop carefully. I went to 2 different service stations to fill the tire up. And as I was successful in finding one that was working at the second station, and I kept putting air in the tire, it just didn't seem that it was working. And I'm like, oh God, I need help. And I sat under the wheel. This young man came up to the car and he said, Mother, call me Mother. Mother, you have a flat tire. And I said, yeah. He said, why don't I help you? And I said, thank you. And he proceeded to continue to put air into the tire until it came back up to where I'm able to drive it. And I got here before you started. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You know, I say that even when I don't know what I'm saying I'm blessed for. It's almost like this beautiful love relationship, this indwelling presence said, come on, let's do the mantra. Let's do the chant. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I love Karen Drucker's songs. I'm blessed. I just go there because I'm continuing to cultivate that. And one of the reasons why I learned to do that one was because when I first got into Science of Mind, a mother with 2 sons and a raggedy car, and, just making sure, praying every time, God, help me get here, get there, get there. So finally a practitioner said, come on here, we need to work this out. Let's get some learning here. Let's get some understanding here. Let the wisdom of spirit begin to lead you and guide you. You're thinking that you can't have certain things, but you can. And once we got through, I went out and got a decent car that was not breaking down. There was no longer the need to patch things. There was more the need to make sure that I have planted a nice garden, and that the foundation of that garden was firm and it was secure. And it was at that point in my life when I would tell my family, don't tell me what I cannot do. If you cannot support me with positive words, just smile. Because I can't listen to that, and I want. So all of these little stories are basically just examples of planting our garden, developing the inner life. You have an authentic self. Allow your authentic self, the reality of spirit, to rise through you and to speak and to live, to express itself through you. There isn't a way that you could ever be from the very presence of spirit. Allow it to love you as you learn to love more of what it is. So, my friends, love streamers, community, from my heart, from the heart of the universe to your heart, allow the love and the integrity of the spirit that has placed within us the resources, all of the resources that we need for life to shine through us. Let's go within. In this place, in this moment, I recognize that there is a divine intelligence, a divine presence, an infinite power that is here with us right now. It is in this spirit, this infinite intelligence that we live, move, and have our very being. We accept and know that we're one with the infinite Spirit of God because its nature is our nature. That the very mind of God, which is a great, humongous mind, is the mind that is within each one of us now. So we can always go to this infinite mind and ask for guidance and accept that guidance will be given throughout our entire livingness. I give grateful thanks for this community for its prosperity because we accept and know right now that the divine pattern of it is perfect God, perfect community, and perfect being of this expression of God. And in this perfection, we accept that all that is required, all that is needed is here right now. So we give grateful thanks that as we realize that it is the Spirit of God that works through us individually, we can always turn to Spirit and ask the question, what is mine to do? How am I to serve? How am I to give? And we can receive guidance from the innermost part of our being. That the direction of spirit, that the answer of spirit is already assured. And that even in the moments when we may feel that there could be some uncertainty, there is yet the wisdom and the clarity and the infinite knowing that always finds its way directly to us. So we give grateful thanks for the prosperity of the community's life as well as the individual member's life. Anyone who comes across the doorway, we know the divine presence of Spirit is right here. For those that may be experiencing any kind of health challenge, once again, we know the divine pattern of life, perfect God, perfect person, perfect being. We know that this wholeness is always here with us. Open our eyes that we may see. Open our hearts that we may feel. Open our mouths that we may speak the word of life to ourselves such that we receive this bountiful manifestation of good. So we know that God is the infinite good of our life. God is the infinite givingness of life. And therefore, we could never be without because we live in an abundant universe. Open our eyes that we may see. I am truly thankful for this reality, for this knowing. I am thankful for the integrity of this nature, this integrity of our oneness, this integrity of this divine unity, because it supports us all. And for this, I am truly, truly thankful. I release this word into the law, knowing that it is so. And I invite you to join me in closing. And so it is. Amen.